Forever. Come on, baby, light my fire. Ready for the show. Now I feel your love desire. Please don't ever go. I don't care, I'm so excited. Now I feel so free. Paradise into your eyes, so let it be. All the time, I need your shiny smile. Tonight I'm really gonna play. You know that life is just a game. Forever young, we're all for one. Forever love and fun, until the morning sun. Forever.
Welcome back, everybody, to the latest session of the Fate Prism TTRPG. We are once again joined by Atlas Core,
That's me.
AI Ignister,
So I've copied to go through this.
and Raven Soul.
Hello.
Now, as you may have noticed, Zivith is once again not with us. We haven't received any messages as to why that's the case. Last time he was sick, and this time we're not entirely sure. So I'm going to be piloting his character for a little bit longer until he shows up, if he shows up at all. Picking up from where we left off last session, you guys just did a grocery run, which completely wiped Barry out of all money, so he's probably going to need to find a job now.
This is what roommates are for, brother. What do you mean?
Obviously, Barry's not that kind of guy. We know this. But once you guys got home, you remembered that I think his name was Jack. The employee from the grocery store recommended you guys visit the Violet Domain if you're interested in grabbing food at a bit of a discount. And I know Barry was interested in that, if nothing else, given his circumstance.
Didn't the dude also mention his, cousin or whatever works at the winery down there?
I think he did.
Yeah, that's right, up Joseph's alley.
Well, I assume that's where we're going to be heading today.
Yeah.
Now, obviously you guys didn't have a chance to have him mark it on your map, but you do recall, at the end of the prior night, when the town was lit up for its nighttime display, that there was a spot against the rock wall that was glowing a vibrant violet. So you don't actually have to have other people mark your map anymore. You can reasonably figure out where the Violet Domain is by paying attention to where the violet spot on the wall was.
Awesome.
Which in this case would be the easternmost section of the wall, which is not that far from you.
Hey.
So I assume that's where you guys are headed this time?
Yeah, head home, drop off the groceries, make sure Sonny's got food and water still.
Right.
All the usual stuff, but yes.
Of course. Alright, well, you've made sure that he's nice and fed, you've made sure that he's back inside his little coop, which he seems pretty comfortable in. You change his paper, obviously. And, he goes right for the food that you laid out for him, because he seems to love it. And I guess you make your skirmish for the Violet Domain.
Yeah.
Yep.
This gate is a golden ring with a violet magic wall, displaying a vibrant field of flowers.
Are you fellas allergic to anything?
No.
No. Though I do get a serene feeling of peace around here.
And Chimo just shakes her head no.
You know what, Joseph? That's probably a good thing. You probably use some more of that in your life.
He ain't wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk off the room. I'm not even going to broach the topic of throwing Ignister through the portal. Excuse me.
Yeah, we're not doing it this time.
Yeah.
We're not doing the bit this time.
Yeah, that's fine. And honestly, once you see what's on the other side, probably for the best.
Oh, boy.
Imagine I throw him through, he just lands straight into a cow pie.
Well, upon entering the Violet Gate, you're immediately surrounded by the sounds of an acoustic guitar, the smell of fresh-cut grass and hay, and the sight of acres of farmland surrounding a dusty dirt road.
This must be the farmland where they've been growing their food.
No kidding. Oh, this is gonna play havoc with my allergies, brother.
Of course he has allergies.
Sinuses.
Now, directly behind you, the gate itself is attached to the side of a red and white barn, right next to a white farmhouse, and there are a few people on the porch playing music. On your left, the entire left side of the road looks to be all animal farms. And directly ahead of you is a dirt road ahead that stretches for miles straight between the animal farms on the left and the crop farms on the right. And more specifically, the right side is filled with multitudes of crops, each one behind a wooden fence.
This place is reminding me of a farming town I visited after my days in the war.
Please tell me
So
only good things
vibrant.
happened in this farming town.
If you're interested, that's a story for when we get home, though it wasn't exactly good or bad per se. More so just... Not even mediocre either, it was rather intense. But that aside, the place is looking vibrant and lively.
Okay, so before we continue, we just got word from Ziv. He's fighting with a stomach virus. He's been fighting it for a few days now, so he won't be able to make it today.
Bummer.
Yeah, well, that just means that I'll be piloting his character for the entire session then. Hopefully he'll make it for the next one. And
Kill him,
Ziv,
man.
if you actually do end up watching this, I hope you get to feeling better.
You know, I never thought about that. If one of us misses a session, we could just watch the video to, get caught up on what we missed.
That's why I've been trying to crank these out as quickly as possible so that we can do that in case worst comes to worst. That, and because of the new video editing technique I've been fiddling with, it's made my editing so much faster, so now I'm determined to get them out as quick as possible.
God, fuck, brain freeze at the moment. I meant to say Nanashi has a cheat sheet.
I mean, yeah. Alright, so where are you guys going?
There's a lot of sights to see here. We got where they're making the crops, where they're making where they're keeping the animals and whatnot. Barry, you seem like a petting zoo kind of man.
Well, you see about that, brother. I grew up in the South, but I was more like out in the woods, not out on the farmland.
You still seem like a petting zoo kind of guy.
I don't. All right, fair enough, I reckon. Alrighty, oh shit, I don't know if you've ever been caught on, like, sneaking onto someone else's property out in the South, but it's not a good thing. So it's probably the best thing to do right now is go talk to the people playing music to get a lay of the land here.
Alright,
Yeah, that might be the better choice.
Alright.
I mean, see, here's the thing. I have been caught trespassing. It's not pretty.
We haven't been caught trespassing yet, and we won't start now.
Yeah.
Nope, I Atlas Core have. That was a situation.
Oh.
Yeah, my roommate has once too. He was actually held at gunpoint over that.
Ah.
Oh.
See, I just gotta start. You see, here's the thing. I just gotta start talking too. It wasn't even that bad. It was just awkward. That's a story for another time, though.
Yeah.
Let me take a page out of Joseph's book. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Listen, there are some stories that can be told right now, and some that just need a bit more, and that they need a bit more in the bond status department.
That's fair.
Okay, we're
tuned.
going by persona rules. Got it.
Stay tuned.
That's
Stay-
how... Finish, Ignis. Sorry.
Stay tuned for the next video on how Atlas Core has been caught trespassing.
No, that's not going on the internet.
Yeah,
That's not going on the internet. I don't want to incriminate myself even more.
Stay tuned as we all try to max out each other's relationship status on this episode of my Persona 69 playthrough.
No, don't call it that.
Well, there were 68 other games. I don't know what else to tell you.
Look, calling it Persona 69 just sounds like a very crappy NSFW knockoff.
It kind of does, but at the same time, I respect it.
And that's not a character I want to. That's not a character I want to be.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fine, 68. Take it or leave it.
I don't like any of the Persona characters that much. Okay, well maybe except for one.
Well,
Maybe except for two.
if we get into that, we'll be here all day. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys all agree to go
I got-
talk to the guys playing music?
Yep.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
they seem the only people I see around here.
Fair enough. Back on the porch sits a trio of burly cowmen in rocking chairs, one on harmonica, one on guitar, and one on concertina.
Damn, no mouth harp?
Doesn't appear so.
Man!
The one in the middle, a big yellow cowman, puts his harmonica down, stands up, and approaches your group when you approach them. He tips his brown cowboy hat in greetings, his purple name tag on his blue shirt reading Montana. Howdy, y'all new to these parts?
Yes, sir. It was just exploring some of the domains and heard tell that this is where a lot of the produce for the island is grown.
Y'all got that right. This is the place to grow any and all kinds of food that we serve to the people of Diadem.
Can I offer the signature berry handshake? Because with a fella of this stature, this shit's gonna go hard.
Of course it is. You're more than welcome to. And when he sees you extend your hand, he is delighted to return the handshake, and you meet at equal strength.
It's that one Full Metal Alchemist image.
Oh yeah,
Two buff men shaking hands.
You're right.
Well, I mean, I was thinking more so, well, this if it sends.
See, I was thinking about the Predator movie. Yeah, okay, me and Ignis had the same thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something different then.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly
Yeah,
the one you're talking about though, and that one fits equally as well.
No, I do. Hold on. I saw it like before I send the Predator one.
Yeah, I already posted it.
Oh.
This is a bit off topic, but I remember seeing a video once of like two people in real life replicating that entire scene, and it was glorious. I'm pretty sure I sent it to Nanashi.
You probably did.
It was great. But yeah, amazing. All right, yeah. There's a shockwave that gets sent out as our biceps ripple.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing is,
Normal
he's a few
dude.
inches shorter than you, obviously, but yeah, no, you meet at equal strength.
Yeah, he's a farm boy. You know, Barry's from the south. He didn't grow up on the farm, but he knew farm boys. They don't play.
No, they don't. So, he looks over to the rest of your group and he's got a bit of an inquisitive look in his eyes. Forgive me for being nosy. Most people who come through here are looking for work. Or they're looking for the farmer's market.
Well, at this point, we're just looking through all the domains.
Yeah, it's
Trying to
just,
get acquainted with the island.
Ooh, y'all got a farmer's market down here?
Absolutely. Bit of a trek, but we were planning on heading down there anyways. And if y'all are exploring the domains, I gotta assume you're trying to meet all the masters too.
Absolutely. I like to imagine that even though I can't necessarily replicate it, the more Barry hangs around a fellow Southerner, the thicker the accent gets. 'Cause, you know, it's always good to get back among your own people.
I think this may be the Barry episode.
It might be.
I mean, hey, we had the Joseph episode last time, and Ignis had a whole side story for him and Miranda.
Yeah, I know. That's the joke. Last episode we had the Joseph episode, and now it's Barry's turn.
You know what? I'm okay with this, honestly.
This is great. I'm down for this.
Well, if y'all are interested in meeting everyone's favorite farmhand, I could give you all a lift. I got a delivery to make anyways.
Oh, I would be right obliged.
Well, sounds good. Dakota, kid, saddle up the wagon. We're making a double delivery. Montano steps away to grab a pair of massive sacks of some kind of food. The taller blue steer, whose name tag reads Dakota, wheels the cart out of the barn single-handedly, and the Holstein cow kid lassos up a pair of horses to attach them to the cart. And in a matter of moments, they've got everything hitched up, loaded up, and situated with Montana as the driver, as though they've done this a million times before.
Barry just has this thought back. He says, like, man, I'm home. Just like home.
And Dakota stands at the back to help each of you up into the cart with relative ease. Compared to Montana, Dakota's lift strength, you can just tell, Barry, is clearly higher than his.
Amazing. Well, we gotta let Chimo go first. Ladies first.
And when Chimo starts setting foot up onto the cart, Kid the Holstein cow immediately just goes in for the flirt. He just walks up to Chimo and just goes, "Well, hey there, pretty lady. Would you be interested in a side of grade A beef?"
That's aggressive. That is not playing around.
And Chimo just looks at him once, looks him up and down, and just goes, maybe when you're a little more mature. And then just takes a seat like it was nothing.
Well, I guess you just got turned into frozen beef there, friend. Gave you the cold shoulder.
Don't I know it?
Like, I could just imagine Chibo like secretly being uncomfortable.
Well, the thing is, she can't turn down a handsome man. It's part of her character lore. And Kid isn't necessarily not handsome. He's just young and, quote-unquote, the cute type, more so than her type.
Okay.
Seriously, this is the flirting game these days? Christ.
Okay. Joseph, come on now. It ain't like you've done it. It ain't like you've done no better.
Please, that wasn't flirting. It needs work. My grandpappy would have slapped some sense into him.
So, after the failed attempt, Dakota actually, the big blue steer, walks over and grabs Kid by the back of his shirt, lifting him up with one hand, and takes his other hand to tip his hat and say, "Ma'am," and then just walks away with the both of them.
This is great.
Though I do hope no creepy repercussions come from that rejection, as ice cold as it was.
Yeah.
I've seen too many of you youngins in this modern age not taking rejection well.
Joseph, you realize I'm like only barely younger than you.
I meant that generally. I've seen the horror stories.
Yeah, but also like at the same time, this is Chibo we're talking about. Like you've seen what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what I'm more scared about.
You, and if anything bad were to come from this, we'd have to be there for her. But like, let's be real, she could probably handle that kid all on her own.
Mm-hmm.
Once everyone's situated and everything's saddled up, Montana snaps the reins a little, and you guys travel down the dirt road in the back of the cart. You're not moving especially fast, but it's definitely faster than it would have been if you had walked.
Nanashi, can I ask you a random question? What skill would it be to play an instrument?
That is a damn good question. I'm actually not 100% sure. I would say probably, since you would normally be playing it for at least other people, I'd say we could easily label that under a rapport skill.
Nice.
Which means, yes, you'd be able to use that +2 bonus if you were to play for an audience of +3 or more.
I didn't even think about that. That's great.
I see no reason not to. I see no reason not to consider that as a possibility. But we'll get to that later. I'm sure it'll come up.
I'm sure it will.
And as you ride down the pathway, you actually get a better look at all the farms and all the crop fields. Each one has its own slowly spinning windmill, and there are farmhands tending and feeding their individual livestock, no problem. The crops are standard foodstuffs you normally see across most fields, stalks of corn, fruit trees, veggie vines, all the classics, including the grapevines that would be used for the exact kind of wine that Joseph would recognize. And you even spot a few interesting ones, including a few you barely recognize. In fact, there's a huge crop dedicated exclusively to something like sassafras.
Actually, hold on a minute. What's the uses for sassafras? Because I know of it, but I've never thought about it.
It's actually used for sarsaparilla, the original root beer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I figured you might.
Sarsaparilla, that word that no one knows how to spell.
I only learned how to spell it a few weeks ago for the sake of that little blurb.
That's amazing.
It's actually spelled sarsaparilla. It's not spelled the way it should be.
Yeah, you see, I knew there was the R in there, but I always got confused on how many, because it's like SAR, like P, Saspar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sarsaparilla. It's so weird.
It is.
That's
Pretty sure there was a game. Where, as a bit, every time you bought sarsaparilla as a consumable item that restored your health, it was spelled differently.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That's a fun little joke.
West of Loathing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's the Loathing games are really funny.
And as you pass by, Montana actually calls out to one of the farms that are currently running. Jesus, my eyes are playing tricks on me. I lost my place again.
Where's them reading glasses, Nanashi?
I don't need them yet.
He said that aggressively.
Yeah, he said, I didn't even know you. Hold on, I didn't even know he had reading glasses.
I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I've been needing them since I was like 10, and I don't wear them because I can see just fine up close.
You see, I was joking. I never even knew that.
I don't tell people stuff like that because there's no real reason for it to come up in conversation. It's like, hey, I'm a furry. I also wear glasses. Like, what the fuck?
That Family Guy meme. Just who the hell starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, like for those like who didn't see like my IRL face, I actually do wear glasses myself.
Huh.
He looks like Zoomer Walter White.
Ah, wonderful.
Damn. Man, I'm glad I'm the one person in my family who can see. I'm the one person in my family, like one of the very few people in my family without glasses. It's basically just me, my younger brother, and my older sister. And then my youngest sister. My other younger sister's as blind as a bat without her glasses. Like, it's kind of crazy just how bad it is.
I'm sure. All right, I found my place again. Here we go. As you guys pass by one of the farms, you see a pair, an elderly man and woman, who Montana actually calls out to and tries to have a conversation with them. He refers to them as Mr. and Mrs. Jugi, and he asks if they've seen Arledge today, and they call back that they haven't seen him yet, but he's supposed to be by later to help shear the sheep. So...
Wait, hold on. Wait, I just now noticed the irony.
Of what?
A whole civilian group of animals. Well, an island full of them rather.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an animal farm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we have a pet chick. We have a pet rooster. This supposedly was an actual rooster person at one time.
Supposedly.
I mean, I just kind of already assumed at this point that there's just like every other cartoon world, logic-wise, where there's Anthro people, but there's also like the feral versions of them, the regular normal ones.
Oh dear God.
As you pass by, though, you actually see a small grouping of flower fields, meaning that it's not exclusively dedicated to just food. It's basically anything that you can grow goes here. And when you go by the flower fields, there's a few farmhands picking out different varieties of flower, each one with a sizable crop that would make any florist you've ever met jealous. And you spot a second wooden cart along the way, parked and facing the opposite direction, and beside it is a beautiful red-haired cow lady, dressed in an eye-catching purple showgirl dress with a bouquet of flowers in one arm and 3 golden bracelets on the other, which Montana immediately pulls off and hops out.
Oh, guess I just saw that one coming.
He hops out and turns back to your group and says, "Everyone, this here's Miss Lily. She runs the saloon back in Diadem." And she gives a polite curtsy and a smile. "Pleasure, y'all. What brings you out here, Moo?"
Relatively new to Diadem, so we're just out here exploring all the domains, meeting the people.
And Montana smirks back at her and says, "Well, I could ask you the same thing, Miss Lily." And Miss Lily just looks a little saddened now. One of Cody's tutors passed away, the poor dear. I came to pick some fresh flowers for the casket spray and headstone saddle. And Montana takes off his hat and places it over his chest.
Barry takes off his sunglasses and does the same.
Well, give my condolences to the family. Does Calf Pint know yet? And she says, well, I intend to tell him on the way home. He'll be heartbroken when he finds out. He really did like Mr. Tarb. And Montana says, well, I'll be sure to stop by myself. By the way, have you seen Arledge yet? And she says, I did. I was talking to him for a bit before y'all showed up. He went down to the market to drop off some supplies. And Montana straightens up his hat and just smiles. Then I suppose we'll be on our way. Take care, Miss Lily, and give the family my regards. And she says, same to you, Moo. She leans up and gives him a kiss on the cheek and saunters off back toward her own cart. It takes Montana a few seconds, but he eventually gets back into his own cart's driving position and slowly... it takes him a minute.
Yeah. We know how it goes. There's some, factory reset.
Yeah. I think some of us would know something more about that than others.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
I was more referring to Ignis.
Yeah.
He had the hardest factory reset out of all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys saw the
His
session,
body-
you
his
know.
body probably took a screenshot.
It takes a couple of more minutes as you ride down the path, but you eventually spot the bustling outdoor farmers market, and there are dozens of people already down there. There's a large parking lot off to the right full of cars, trucks, and a couple horse-drawn wagons, and there's even a petting zoo over to the left that's currently closed to the public. As you enter the parking lot and are led off one at a time with Montana's help, you can see each individual stall selling meats, fruits, veggies, milk, eggs, magic rings in a purple hue, and bouquets of flowers. When you actually see them, the people aren't just trading money for their goods, they're actually trading other goods for their goods, which means that they're willing to barter.
I was gonna make a comment on what a terrible day to have no money, but we can make this work.
So
Barry has no money, found a way to get resources anyways.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trade like several weeks of hard work from Ignis.
yeah.
It's meat on those bones. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Buried consider it,
Okay.
but probably not.
I mean, you actually see one guy trading a plate of bacon for a couple slices of blueberry pie. Like they are.
I mean,
That
Some-
is the law of equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
I was really about to say, it sounds about right.
All right. So.
What do I have in here I can trade? Surely I can make something work.
So, while you're figuring that out, Montana grabs both of those giant sacks, one on each shoulder, and starts heading in toward the farmer's market.
I'm gonna follow.
Yeah, probably just
Same.
follow along.
Anyways, so give me 1 minute, I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything anyone around here would want.
That's fine. We'll just follow along for the moment then. Montana walks up to a nearby stand and drops down both of those sacks, and it's ran by a blonde sable man wearing blue jeans and a red t-shirt with a straw hat and a violet name tag reading Marty.
I had to Google what a sable is. What is this?
Hold up.
Back, what did I miss?
It looks like someone stretched a red panda.
What?
The person that you ran it, that Montana dropped the sacks of material off to was a sable.
A species
What's a
of
sable?
marten. Oh, it's a species of marten. Okay, imagine like a red panda, but it's a ferret. Like it's like someone took a red panda but stretched it out.
Yep.
Oh, ice.
Yeah.
Nah.
Trust me when I say I tried my hardest to make some of these characters have unique species.
I like that. I appreciate this a lot.
I'm glad. I really am.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. You've hit 2 animals that I didn't know existed up to this point. You're doing good.
I've got over 200 NPCs. Depending on where you go, you might see a lot more.
This is great. I'm having the best time.
I am so happy to hear that.
I found a sable antelope.
Oh, okay.
That's different. Hold on, let me send you the Wikipedia page
Yeah.
that I pulled up.
Yeah, I know it's different. I was just looking at like the actual sable, like just seeing how adorable they are. The next thing you know, antelope.
I got a bunch of Russian coats out of it.
What's with y'all's like?
Google's fucking weird, man.
It is, especially since they
I
started
found
using
the
AI to
animal
run their
immediately.
Google search program.
True.
But getting back on the story, though, Montana asks him if he's seen Arledge, and he says, you know, I did see him a couple hours ago when I opened, but I haven't seen him since. You know what? Go ahead and give. How about if everybody gives me a quick notice roll?
Oh boy.
Do I have anything to notice? I don't think so.
I believe the only one with
No,
any
I
points
don't.
in notice is.
Probably me, because mine is like,
Yours is
Mine
plus
it-
2.
yeah.
Problem.
Solution.
I can't type for the life of me.
Oh, never mind. We can't do anything to fix
Well,
that.
I got a 5.
Oh, damn.
It's gonna be hard for me to beat that, anyways.
Dude.
Actually, no, not hard. It's
Okay.
impossible.
Apparently.
Lord.
Dude, these rolls are insane for the day. Look at this.
Let me see mine, bruh.
All right. Well, with a +5 notice roll, that's insane.
Hold on. Before we continue, I need to say the line. The bot's a simp.
Clearly.
He said the thing.
He likes gilfs. I don't know what else to tell you.
You see, Joseph getting that kind of role I can forgive because that's part of what your character's built to do. Chimo has no reason to be that observant.
Well, we can say that she's so bored she just pays attention to literally everything other than the conversation she's not part of, I guess.
Yeah, I got that stance.
Me.
You hear a frail female voice behind Joseph saying, "Excuse me," and you feel somebody tugging on the back of your coat.
Joseph will turn around.
There's a shorter, older sheep lady with gray hair in a bun, thick, round glasses, and a white long-sleeved shirt with a gold pendant on a black necklace, and a purple skirt, her violet name tag reading Emma. "I couldn't help but overhear. Are you looking for Arledge?"
Why, yes, we are.
"The sweetheart's brushing down the horses in the stable right behind the farmer's market."
Well, thank you very kindly, ma'am.
"My pleasure."
Well, I guess this just turned into a wild goose chase.
How so?
Cause we're chasing like one guy, and we're going to like different places just for one guy.
I mean, you've gone farther for less.
True. Like, this wasn't even that far of a walk from home.
Air,
Dude,
but
I just
still.
thought about that. We live pretty close to this domain.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like you're in between a grocery store for easy access but higher cost and a farmer's market that requires a small trek but has better prices, supposedly.
I mean, bartering is a possibility. That makes it have better prices by default.
Now, behind the market looks to be the only non-produce related farm, and there are well over a dozen freshly groomed horses walking around in the fenced-in area.
Hold on. Before we get in there, I'm gonna turn to Ignis. Do you know how to behave around horses?
Yeah.
Do you actually? I didn't figure you did.
No. Well. I mean, I the player don't.
Okay, but Ignis, the character, would.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, good. I was about to give Ignis the character the rundown if you didn't, because I don't want to see you get picked.
Yeah.
As funny as it would be, and as funny as the player Atlas Core would find it, Barry the character does not want to see Ignis get his chest caved in.
I mean, don't forget, he is essentially Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
All right,
should
thumbs
he
up.
should know how to handle himself around horses, I would assume.
All right.
Yeah,
Thumbs
he
up.
should.
Please continue.
And Joseph obviously would too, because he's probably done a little bit of wartime shenanigans on horseback, I would assume.
There's been a lot done on and off the battlefield, and Joseph has been around long enough to do a lot.
When you actually look deeper inside, you do see one horse being brushed down by what looks like a light purple rabbit man in tight jeans and a deep purple sleeveless shirt with a white cowboy hat nestled between a pair of loppy, waist-long bunny ears, barely obscuring a fuzzy mop of violet hair.
It
Looking
would have
at him,
been.
I guess that stands to reason. Violet Demesne, and he's purple.
It would have been so surreal if it was one of those horse farmers. If it was one of those horse farmers brushing down that horse.
That would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it?
Like Goofy and Pluto all over again.
Oh, God.
Imagine just brushing out the mane of the horse,
We're
and
not-
brushing
we're not
out
gonna
their
go
own
into
mane
that
of
rabbit
hair,
hole.
and then brushing out the mane of the horse. They just use the
We're not
hairbrush.
gonna go into that rabbit hole.
Ah, rabbit hole.
Come on.
Shooty hops.
What? You're literally dealing with a rabbit,
I'm
dude.
good.
The low-hanging fruit. Come on now.
Hey, you're on a farm. Low-hanging fruit's everywhere.
I'm going to strangle you.
Listen, I don't know what
Don't
you
threaten
two
me
were
with a good time,
expecting.
dude.
I don't know what you two were expecting. This is God. He can deflect anything you say right back at you.
No kidding.
Well, I try.
I think, well, if they decide to adopt adopt a child, now it's just ready to be a dad.
Well, I do
Yeah.
have I do have a menu of dad jokes, but we'll do that conversation another time.
Okay.
But yeah, do you approach or?
Yeah, we're going to approach.
No, we're gonna be weirdos and stare at him from the distance.
I'm making sure, okay? I have to be certain you actually do this. I don't want to play your characters for you.
I now have the visual image of fucking Barry reenacted that one Drax scene. I'm invisible. You can't see. No one can see me.
I'm just imagining the scene from Red vs. Blue where Caboose is trying to hide behind a rock and he's doing terribly at it. They can't see me. I can't see them. That's because you're staring at the rock.
Neither one of you have thrown out a reference that I know, and now I just feel awkward.
Oh.
But let's get back to the point. The horse actually reacts to your group approaching first with a soft whinny, and then the bunny turns around with a warm smile and a pair of deep blue, almost purple eyes greet you. Howdy. I'd shake your hands, but I gotta finish brushing her down. How can I help y'all?
We're just here exploring, and we're told to come and talk to you.
Oh, y'all are domain explorers, huh?
Yes, sir. Relatively new to Diadem, exploring the places, but setting eyes on places, meeting people, shaking hands. The things you do when you get someone new.
Well, let me finish up with Rosie here, and I'll gladly shake y'all's hands. He finishes brushing down the horse and walks over to a nearby hose, rinsing off the brush and his own hands before walking back over to you and actually finally offering all of you a handshake.
Signature Barry handshake.
Yeah, he grabs your hand, and he has such grip strength, he actually makes your bones in your hand crunch a little.
Well, that's a first.
By the way, he's about a foot shorter than Barry.
Wait, hold on, is everybody in this domain just buff?
They're
I mean,
farmhands.
Ever been to a
Yeah.
farm?
My
Yes.
guy.
Hold on. I wanted to be clear. I wanted it to be clear.
I was about to say, they're farmers. They do this shit every day.
No, I need you to understand. Farm people are built different.
By the way, this is what he looks like, in case you're wondering.
Hold on, let me.
It's literally. I have thoughts that I will not say aloud.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked, because you never know. Somebody could be built like this.
You just got that rabbit strength, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I got a hellacious kick. I mean, hell with it. The hell with sneaking up on the horse. If you sneak up on this man, you might just die.
This has to be further proof that he is indeed the domain master.
Dude, if he's making my hand crack and pop with grip strength, like, hold on, can we? I want to roll. I want to roll in athletics. Hold on, we gotta have a contest.
You mean
to
physique.
start here.
You mean physique.
I need to see. No, hold on. Give me may I politely request a contested athletics
Listen,
roll?
You absolutely
I want the
can.
smoke here.
Listen, this is Barry's episode. Let's just let him do it.
I am perfectly
Oh,
fine
what?
with that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up his information. I actually have it written down.
I need this smoke right now. Barry needs this smoke right now. It's like, wait a minute. That's a new one.
You might just see how far you can push this shit.
Yeah, it's like, that's a first. Hold on a minute. I need to test something real quick.
Bro legit went like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
All right.
Somebody right here.
All right, give me a physique roll there, buddy.
Oh, physique. Even better.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be when you're doing, like, actual... Okay, not bad.
Man, why can't the dice just favor me one time?
I mean, why wouldn't the dice be nice to me when I was with Miranda?
I can't wait for Nanashi to roll 4 pluses in addition to like a +5 modifier or some shit. Like, I'm fully expecting to lose this, but Barry needs to know. Like, as the resident strongman, he needs to be aware. Just
I'm actually going to roll this one in the chat just because it seems like it's more fun to do it this way.
right.
Oh.
Like, Barry as the
Oh.
strongman needs to be aware. Yeah. Well, actually. Yeah. Oh, okay. Only a +4.
Yeah, he rolled a +5 against your +3.
Yeah.
He took a
Barry
singular
just needs to
point
know
of
how
damage.
far out of his depth he is against this guy right now. You know, we could, the wrestler instinct is coming out. I need to know.
But it'd be funny if Barry lost a single point of damage here.
If it was
Just from-
if it was any higher than it was, I would have made him take a point of damage for that one.
Okay, so right now he doesn't. Okay, cool.
Yeah, if it was so high that it was a succeed with style or a crit range, I would have made him take damage for that. As it is right now, his hand just kind of hurts.
I like to imagine just the squeezing of the hands. It's just.
It's that kind of squeeze where you don't want to admit that it hurts.
Yeah, only I imagine there finally comes a moment where Barry's like, okay, brother, I get it. I tap out.
And Arledge just, rotates his shoulder a little and... Now, I'd love to keep John off with you, but I got a busy day today. I gotta go help milk the cows, shear the sheep, collect the eggs, feed the babies.
For such a small body to have strength to make even Barry just give up,
Well,
I
he's only
assume
a
you're
foot shorter than me. That still puts him in, like...
Okay,
like,
because the
6-foot
image
range.
because the image is just making it like
And the image makes
I-
it seem like he's short.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was going with.
He's like in the he's like just shy of 6 foot range.
Okay, then
it's
ignore
like 5'10",
ignore the
5'11".
short part.
Yeah.
He's taller than I am in real life.
Cut. Yeah,
I'm
the
5'8", man.
The image and the cropping did not help. I'm be real here, G.
Yeah.
He thinks for a moment. Wait a sec. I know y'all said you were gonna go exploring, but if y'all don't got anywhere else you need to be, I'd get done far quicker if I had some extra hands. And I'd make it worth your while too.
I will say for someone on the lean build to have the strength to make even Barry here give up, you wouldn't happen to be this domain's master, would you?
Sure am.
Why do I feel like it wasn't just the purple hair that gave it away?
Well, I mean, as he brought up, if he's strong enough to make even Barry flinch, then he had to
but
be.
I mean, I kind of had to ask that because farmers are just in general built very, like, we're talking machines if they're added for most of their lives.
You do have a fair point.
So, he just made an offer to you guys if you guys want to help out with him taking care of the animals, and he said he'd make it worth your while.
Barry is ready. He is down to clown. Let's get it.
With that head hand.
And Chimo rolls her eyes and just goes, I've got nothing better to do, I suppose I might as well.
We can find you something pretty nice to do. Like, you go like get the eggs from the chickens. They probably won't flog you too awful bad.
You know, this farmland and that strong farmer reminds me of this farmer I met after the war who punched a bear to death. Really cool guy. I wonder how he's doing these days.
How long ago was it?
I guess at this rate, like, I want to say like 30 years. Man's probably old, but I, last I heard leather-wise, he's still boxing with that bear's generational line. So
Probably. Well, Arledge looks happy. Now that's what I was hoping to hear. Uh-oh, he's sniffing the air. And he looks at Ignis. Wait, are you Draconian?
Yeah.
Now that is awesome. I don't see many of your types around here. I'll introduce you to my friend Azar when we're all said and done.
Azar.
Mm-hmm. He's Draconian too. You don't live too far from here.
I
looks like we're gonna set up a little play date.
see. Shut.
Come on now, Ignis. Ain't no harm in House of Friends.
While you guys have your little fun interaction, Arledge has already assembled a cart with a pair of horses, just like what Montana brought you here in, and hops into the driver's seat. Hop on in. We'll get started.
Yes, sir.
Once you guys are all in, you ride down the beaten path you came up for about a minute before you stop at a nearby dairy ranch. He parks the cart in a nearby horse stall, helps each of you out, and guides you all straight into the nearby barn on the property to a series of milking stalls. Now, he wants each and every one of you to make a resources roll to attempt to collect the milk.
I don't think any of us has resources as a kid.
Nope, I do. I do. I got a +1 on it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, give me some resources rolls then.
Crazy. That's awesome.
Okay, I got a fair.
I mean, it's probably better than some of the rest of us are gonna get.
Yeah.
Bird grew up in the woods. Cows ain't his forte.
Maybe not.
Okay, you know what? Better than my last roll in terms of dice.
All right. Not too bad. A 2, a 1, a 1. And, how about you, Joseph?
He's like a bit iffy with it. He hasn't been around the farmland that long.
Hey, Joseph, come on over here. I'll show you how to do it. You just grab it like this, and you just pull down.
Don't pull down. You just squeeze.
Okay, maybe let him show you how to do it. I'm gonna grow up the chickens.
He almost looked irritated when you said that.
But to say, if we're milking cows, then obviously you don't pull down. That hurts them.
I grew up in the woods, not on a farm either. Like, me and Barry are in the same boat on that one.
God damn it, lad. It's a goddamn teat. You don't pull down.
The next several minutes is all of you occupying your own individual stalls and milking one cow at a time. There are no pumps, so the milking is obviously done by hand. At the tail end of it all, after you have milked about probably a couple dozen cows over the last several minutes, Arledge playfully just takes one of the others and squirts Ignis right in the face with a playful smirk.
What was that for?
What was what for?
The spray.
Ah, you look thirsty.
Oh, he look at thirsty Ignis, get him back.
After all the cows are taken care of, he has you follow him to meet up with the ranch owner, an older terrier man and his wife, who both thank Arledge and all of you and hand him a small bag of Z for his troubles. But he just drops it into the hat on the back of his neck and excuses himself and your group to move on to the next task. Next up, he pulls up into a nearby chicken farm, and you're actually greeted by this farm owner, a red-haired 6-foot human with piercing green eyes, in a basic pair of jeans and a red flannel shirt. His violet name tag says Samson.
Does he have a wife named Delilah?
No, he does not. It looks like it's just him.
Okay. wondering if anyone else thought about that.
He personally helps all of you down as well with a smile and guides you all to his fairly large chicken coop, which is full of hens that need to be checked for eggs. So this time, I want everyone to give me a burglary roll.
Oh, burglary.
Yeah, because these chickens are going to be trying to prevent you from taking their eggs.
Nanashi,
What would that
can
be?
I get like a
What would
small
that be
bonus because
under?
I've referenced a lot that Barry grew up with chickens?
You know what? I'm willing to allow that one. In fact, if you want to spend your 1 per day fate point, I will let you take a +2 on this.
You know what? I keep forgetting that's a mechanic. I'd like to do that because this is something the Barry should know how to do.
Sure.
Like the cows, all right. He probably didn't milk the cow growing up. That was probably one of his siblings that did that. Burr was on egg gathering duty.
Go right ahead. I will allow you to do that. Now,
Well, Barry,
I'll take it.
Well, Barry, hopefully you're better at this than the cow milking, because, Lord forbid,
No.
you can't handle a nipple at all.
Okay.
Well, apparently he handled it just as.
Joseph, listen here, man.
Apparently
Listen
he got
here.
another
man.
average.
When I was growing up, right? Me and my siblings, we didn't have a lot of animals. It couldn't really be considered a farm, but we had like a cow and like 5 chickens, right? Just a small thing, right? My siblings did the cow milking, and I did the egg gathering. Yeah, that wasn't my
Exactly,
my
so this should be your best department.
okay, so Ignis, I saw that you rolled a +0 roll. However, I'm going to bring something to your attention. Fate has the mechanic system that's the fate point system, which allows you to either take a +2 to a roll or completely re-roll by spending a fate point if it makes sense for your character to be able to do so. Now, you as a character are compelled to steal. So, if you wanted to, I would allow you to spend this fate point to re-roll that and prove just how good you are at stealing eggs.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Go for it. Give me another roll.
Okay. So high. Yep,
Okay, that's better.
an average. It's better.
Hold up. The bot did not work for me. Wow.
How much damage does he take from the chickens flogging the ever-loving shit out of him?
You know what? Since he did roll a -1, I'm gonna give him 1 point of damage because all the chickens start like chasing him around.
You see, like unironically, growing up, I had a massive fear of chickens because my grandparents like did kind of have a farm, and them chickens would beat the ever-loving shit out of me. For no reason, I'd just be out playing in the yard.
The only reason I'm not making it worse is because Joseph's wearing some heavy-duty clothing. Okay, and Chimo didn't do any better.
Damn birds.
Samson thanks you for collecting the eggs, and between the 4 of you, you've actually collected several dozen, because each hen probably laid about 3 or 4 apiece. Samson gives Arledge a bag of coin, and you guys are off to the next adventure down the way, which this time you're taken to a wolf farm attached to a sheep field, the exact one that Montana was talking to earlier. Now, this time, they actually have electric trimmers ready for you, so shearing them is going to be a lot quicker and easier. Give me a craft roll.
I do not think I have that.
Man, this has just been
I
not
do
your
not.
day.
Yeah, surely one of these checks will be a skill that someone has had. Dude, I'm nothing if not.
Oh! What the heck happened?
Oh, dude, all minuses. Oh,
I got a
okay.
fair result.
Okay, well, in that case, Joseph seems to be the only one competent with a pair of hedge clippers. Electric ones, rather. And the rest of you do decently, but good God. Apparently, Ignis did so poorly on his first shearing attempt that that sheep got pissed at him and started chasing him around the farm. He is headbutting him every chance he gets. But you're not going to take any damage from this. Instead, what's going to happen is that this sheep has apparently garnered the attention of a few others that have already been sheared, and they're all chasing you across the farm now.
Now, I ain't much of a barber, but if you sheared a sheep so bad that it's charging you with its friends, then...
Now, you know what? I'd like you to give me a stealth roll real quick, just because I want to see if you can escape this. Without taking damage. I'm going to be generous on this one.
Okay. Well, I can't be that bad again. That's a 3.
Oh
It
my
can
God.
only go up from here, surely.
Let's see
If
it.
it only go up from
Okay,
here. I got a
okay.
fair.
Alright, well, the good news is you managed to escape without taking any damage, but now you've got giant holes in your clothing from where they bit at your clothes and tried to eat them.
Whew.
Well, this is the second time this happened.
Yeah, and sadly, Miranda's not around this time to help you out.
Yeah.
I just imagine in Miranda's domain, she's just sitting back reading a magazine and she suddenly sneezes.
I feel a disturbance. Some clothing I've altered has been destroyed.
I just want to see somebody draw that now. But the farm owners, older couple of blue jays, are just kind of hee-hawing in laughter at what they saw happen. They're not too upset about it, and they also offer you a set of clothing to replace the damaged ones if you're interested.
Yeah.
Well, the only clothes they have to fit you, though, is a basic white long-sleeve shirt and a pair of blue jean overalls.
It's better than nothing.
So now...
we're gonna see Ignis's full identity.
No, the mask is still being on.
The mask was the one thing that didn't get damaged in this. So now you've got a lanky dude in a white long sleeve shirt, blue overalls, and a draconian assassin mask. That is a fucking sight.
It's what the mask.
That's what the mask is for. Oh.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pay another visit to Miranda about this.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a fun day. And Shimo just kind of raises an eyebrow at you because she doesn't actually know who Miranda is. But after all is said and done and the excitement dies down, the Blue Jays toss him another bag of coin. He puts it back into his hat, and you all climb back into the cart and are now heading back for the farmer's market.
Has he been... I want to ask a question. Has he been putting all the bags of coin in his hat, or has he been like, get back to the cart, put it down in the cart? Does he just have a bag of holding hat? What's going on here?
He's just putting it in his hat. He doesn't actually wear it because the strings on the... I'm going to give you a little bit of anatomy lesson on this one when it comes to Lapine characters. They can't really wear hats that have drawstrings because it pulls on their ears. They have to wear it on the back of their neck, so they basically have a convenient little mini bag.
Yeah, but like, how big are these bags of coin, though? Like, eventually that would start choking them out, probably.
You'd think so,
Well,
but these coins aren't super large or heavy or anything. 3 bags of coin. You've seen a basic small dice pouch, right?
Yeah.
Imagine 3 of those.
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's not super heavy or anything. Like I was saying, you all climb back into the cart after all is said and done, and he drives you back toward the farmer's market, but turns off just before it to the left into the petting zoo, and personally walks the horses over to the stable to let them back in. He walks back over to you guys in front of the close-off petting zoo, and has a bit of a sheepish grin. So... I might have fibbed a bit with this, and see, it's not so much that I need to feed the babies as it is just making sure they all get fed. He opens up the gate to the petting zoo, turns the lights on, and you immediately just see a massive grouping of individually fenced-in mini gates full of baby animals of all shapes and sizes. And the second that gate is opened, you see children just running toward that gate, like a miniature stampede of human animals. And they are all heading right for the baby animal fences.
Oh boy.
And they are immediately going over to a nearby table, as though they have rehearsed this, full of little paper cups, full of a familiar-looking orange, green, and brown pellets of food. And each one grabs a cup, they walk over to the baby animals, and they start feeding them out of their own hands, which the animals are very happy to taste. He walks over with a plate of 5 cups purposely reserved for your group and offers you guys to go feed the baby animals if you want to as well.
Ooh, yes. I'm just gonna look over at Ignis and Joe and see now. Y'all can't be sourpuss with the baby. When you're feeding the baby animals. Come on now. This is gonna be fun.
fine.
You see Joseph petting one of the baby animals as he's feeding it. That implies I was being a sourpuss to begin with.
So, while you guys are feeding the animals, Arlich is actually taking the pellets and feeding them to himself.
Not gonna question that one.
I'm not gonna question it either.
You know,
I have several jokes I could make, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm not gonna make them.
I mean, if it's good for the animals.
It's gotta be good for the human animal too, right?
Yeah.
And then he points out, if this stuff ain't to your taste, we also got some fresh produce over there. And he points out there's a separate table full of fresh cut fruits and veggies and various cups of fruit juices. Help yourselves.
Ooh, thank you very much. that probably be my taste.
You guys all just kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy a few minutes of actual little bits of peace on the farm where all the kids are enjoying playing and feeding with the animals, and you guys get yourself a nice little healthy treat, which, to be fair, probably well deserved.
Yeah.
And Arledge walks over to you guys after he's finished his little cup of food. Thanks a lot for helping me out, you guys. I got a lot more free time this afternoon now, thanks to you.
Well, that's good. Glad some of us had it better than others.
I noticed.
It just takes a little practice.
I'm guessing y'all are probably going to take a trip over to Miranda to get your clothes all fixed up and whatnot, huh?
Yeah, that's probably the plan.
Wouldn't be the first time, now would it, Ignis?
Oh, you met her before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She was actually, that was one of the domains we've already visited.
And y'all can still walk?
Well, only one of us had that kind of talk with her. I keep the right head screwed on.
So I see.
Listen, it was in the heat of the moment.
And right when you say that phrase, you hear a loud bellowing roar in the distance. And every single animal and child is suddenly running back to their little habitats and their parents. And you see a look of dread on Arledge's face. Oh, shoot, that's a problem.
I take it that's never good.
No, it ain't. And he bolts for the market and runs back out with two identical burlap sacks. Come on, I need your help for one last thing.
Yep, on the way.
And Chimo's actually a little bit curious about this one. He runs over to the nearest cart, which happens to be the one that Montana had set up, and just says, I'm borrowing this. He hops into the cart, drops the sacks, waits for all four of you to get into the back, and you start speeding off toward an area in the distance beyond the parking lot. It takes about a minute or two of straight-up galloping at top speed before you finally approach what looks like a small mountain in the distance with a rather large cavern surrounded by chunks of rocks, looking like it was dug out by hand. He stops the cart a few yards away and looks around, and then immediately takes a look upward and just goes, shit. Azar is not happy.
Azar?
Draconian you brought up.
Yep, and he's paying us a visit right now. He immediately takes the cart and runs a bit backwards with it, and right when he does, a large body thuds into the ground right in front of that cavern. What you have been greeted by is a red dragon with gold underbelly scales.
Oh, Agnes, is this a relative of yours?
No.
Okay, look, just cause he's draconian, that's a dragon. That's like saying all people know each other. That's kind of rude, Joseph.
You
I
know
know you're a little old school, but come on now.
You know I made that joke with Loveberry, but still, this is a problem regardless.
And Arledge looks very troubled as Azar the dragon just hunkers down and screeches at the top of its lungs at you. We need to calm him down or he's going to go after the market. And he hops out of the cart and actually tries to get Azar's attention, but Azar is immediately uncooperative and thwacks him with his tail so hard he actually smashes into the side of the cart. It's it's one of those perfectly cut scream moments. You see Bunny Boy walk up trying to get somebody's attention. Next thing you hear is as he's just smashed into the cart.
I know wrestling is my forte, but that's a bit out of my size range.
Ignis just proceeds to run towards him.
Arledge is on his ass, and you see that his arm and his leg are bending in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's bad.
But
Hey, Joseph, we need to get you on medical duty over there.
Joseph will go over to examine him.
and when you actually examine him, you see that his arm and leg that are currently bending in the wrong direction are swathed in a violet magical energy, and you actually watch them in a matter of like 3 seconds fix themselves right in front of your eyes.
Oh god, what's the point of being multi-classing as medic if everyone is just Wolverine?
Okay, well this guy makes sense though. He's the domain master for the domain based on healing magic.
Yes, I'm well aware, but still.
Azar is still, like, screeching up a storm, and he's stomping around, and you actually see him start breathing fire onto the grassy ground around you guys, and Arlich finally stands back up and cracks his neck a little.
Okay, your dragon friend is pissed off. Something has irked him. Any idea what that could have been?
Hell if I know. I don't think we're going to get an answer unless we can calm him down. I hate being violent, but I don't think we got many options. I'm going to need to ask y'all to help me tire him out.
Is this a combat situation?
Yes, it's a combat situation. You're battling
Let's
a fucking dragon.
go.
Oh, great. I've been on some weird adventures in my life, but I've never gone dragon slaying before.
Yeah, we're not, Joseph, we're not slaying, brother.
You know what I mean. Now get your asses into gear.
Wait,
Dude, I'm
hold on.
standing up and stretching in real life. I'm ready for this.
I literally just cracked my knuckles for this.
So, here's the deal. Azar the dragon is big enough to occupy half the zone, so if anybody wants to do close range, only 2 people will be able to fit into a zone at the same time.
Okay. Boss fight time, let's go.
It's go time.
Alright, so go ahead and give me some initiative rolls. And I'm also going to give one separately for Azar. Actually, you know what? He's going to go first.
What do you mean?
Well, I-
Whoa! Hang on. Yeah, you know what? Screw that. Joseph's going first.
What? This
That was
bot is
a-
bipolar as shit. We've seen 4 minuses and 4 pluses in the same session.
Yeah, no, I have to reward a roll that good. That's a +6. There is no way you're not going first. Alright.
Oh, dear God.
Alright, so it's gonna be Joseph, then Azar, then Ignis, then Chimo, and Arlich will follow Barry up as last.
So this is going to take quite a different approach than usual.
Yes, it is. You guys are all fighting one guy.
Raid boss.
Wait. Hold on. I have to ask this right now. How much health does he have?
That is information I cannot tell you, but I will tell you once the fight is done.
God damn it.
I mean, if you really want to know, you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity for this. Give me an investigate roll to see if you can tell how healthy this thing is.
Oh, hold on. I need to see if I have something to investigate.
I don't think you do. I think the only one that does is Joseph.
Nope. No, I got a +2. I got a +2 in investigate.
All right, Joseph, you want to give your hand at this?
Yes, hold up.
+2 and investigate. I'm damned.
All
I got
right.
a fair. Okay.
Okay, only an average +1. We can't get lucky twice.
Mm-mm. Your rolls aren't super good, but you would assume that he's got a little more health than probably got about the same amount of health as your tank.
We're gonna be here a while, boys.
Oh.
Well, it's 5v1. You tell me.
Yeah, but like we're only doing like 1 to 3 damage a hit. Well, okay, I guess I'll like +1 when you count infusions.
Mm-hmm. Make sure those infusion shots count, buddy.
I was about to say, because I would assume there's also type advantages. This is a fire dragon, correct? What if I had a water infusion?
That's a reasonable thing to assume. You can give it a shot. Worst thing that happens is it doesn't work.
Because that was literally the first thing I was gonna do, because it's like, we're not trying to kill the dragon, but we do need to cool it down.
Mm-hmm. You are more than welcome to make that attempt if you want.
Okay.
Alright, so, first off, Joseph, what do you got?
Okay, then I'll pay the 1, putting me the 9 mana points. With my 9 hit points, because chicken bait. Okay, then I'm gonna roll my +3 shoot modifier.
Don't hit any vital organs.
Alright.
That's
Oh,
average
Or-
+1.
a +1 roll, huh?
Damn. This bot is bipolar as shit.
Yeah, like I may use a fate point.
We can say that because you're the Health Scavenger's elite sniper, you would be willing to make a better shot than that. We can use that as a reason. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Alright. Then pay your fate point and make that shot. You can either add +2 to the roll, or you can re-roll.
Okay, hold up. Let me find the shit again. I'm gonna add I'm gonna add a +2 to that roll, so it's a 3.
Well, here's the thing. If you hadn't done that, you would have matched, but this time you did in fact hit.
Okay.
Hey.
And on top of that, it looks like your 2 damage bullet plus 1 damage for the infusion actually did more damage. You were correct in your assumption. He does appear to be vulnerable to water.
Yay.
And because of that little status effect, he gets pulled his own closer. Where do you want him moved?
B3.
Got it.
So my calculation was correct. We just gotta water him down.
Nice observation, by the way. I appreciate that.
Listen, you can't just give elemental affinities and expect me not to come to the Pokemon conclusion.
Well, there's a reason for this stuff. Like, you know, weaknesses and resistances do matter. I wanted that to matter. So
And I'm so glad I brought it up.
I am too. All right, so you still have your item or movement action. What will you do from here?
Joseph will move to D1.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, best to stay away. Best to stay away from literally any enemy if you're from range.
That's true. All right, so that means it's Azar's turn. He's going to move his own closer to the 3 of you. Or the 4 of you, actually.
Oh.
And he's going to breathe fire on all 4 of you, except for Joseph, who was smart enough to move his own away.
Okay,
Yeah.
Joshua, before you do so, I'd like to ask a question.
Shoot to kill.
Is this a spell or is this like a natural thing he
It's
does?
it's exactly the same thing that Ignis does. It's a natural inborn ability.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, I tried.
Listen, I may be able to actually do some fucking healing as the double clap.
One of these days, I'll get to use my counter spell.
Eventually. Oh shit. Please try to dodge a +4 roll. Oh, fuck me. Okay.
What?
Okay.
Ouch.
Oh, okay, Ignis is finally showing off those skills. I knew he had it in him.
All he needed was a pair of overalls.
Oh shit. All right. So, okay. So, Ignis is the only one who dodged that.
Did you roll for Bunny Fella, whose name I have forgotten? Arlen?
I'm rolling privately on that one. I don't want you to know all his stats.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, as it turns out, Arledge actually got hit by that too.
Ouch.
Which means Chimo, Barry, and Arledge are all currently affected by Afterburn. You have to spend a point of movement at the end of your turn, or you will take an extra point of damage. In fact, Chimo got hit with a Succeed with Style, which means that she, unfortunately, got extra damage and she's got Afterburn 2 on her.
Oh. Wait, so she has to spend 2?
No, she has to spend a point of movement or she's going to take 2 damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you put it all out at the same time with a single unit of movement. I felt like doing multiple was a bit unfair.
Okay, yeah, that would be a bit bullshit, I will admit.
Alright, so
So
Azar
how
is
much
taking...
damage is that? As I said, so how much damage is that?
That would be 2 damage plus Afterburn.
Alrighty. 2 damage plus Afterburn.
Alright, so...
That's not as bad as I was expecting for Dragon Breath. I'm gonna be real with you. I mean, but then again, I guess when you have 25 health points, nothing is quite that bad.
Yeah, whereas the others who have like 10 hit points like Chimo are currently feeling it real bad. So on that note...
It's a good thing I moved out of the way so I can at least focus on pocket healing.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, yeah, 100%.
Alright, so
Yeah.
next up is Ignis. Your turn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to C3.
Sounds good. What you gonna do, buddy?
Be right on
let
top
me-
of the dragon.
Yeah. I am going to pull out my blade, and then I don't know if it's gonna. Well, I don't know if it's like still Pokemon logic, where like it's the same, no matter if it's like the same type, or if like, well, resistance. But I'm gonna try to do it anyways. I'm gonna fuse it with Pyro.
Alright. And give me an attack roll then. Alright.
Yeah, I got it good.
Alright, +3. That's good. Ooh. Yeah, you succeeded with style against him. You hit him. You rolled a 0.
Let's go.
So here's the thing. You were correct in your assumption that he would be immune to fire, and he actually is resistant to melee at the same time. But because you used both at the same time, he actually did manage to get hit. So he is going to take damage from that hit.
Okay, so it is just natural damage.
Yeah, it basically
Or-
becomes natural damage. You basically superseded his resistances to make a hit.
Okay.
So, on top of that, your other stunt now kicks into effect, which means that now any attack roll he makes against you specifically is going to be at a severe disadvantage.
Yay.
So, who's next? That would be Chimo.
Timo.
She's going to cast a level 3 ice spell into your guys' zone, but because she can choose not to hit allies, it will only hit Azar and will still do max damage if it hits.
Yay.
So, modifier +3. Oh, shit!
Ha 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 ha. Oh.
Yeah, this fight might not last as long as I thought it would.
The bot's a simp.
Uh-huh.
Simp.
Alright, so, let me make a roll and see if he dodges this. Nope. Alright, she succeeded with style as well. He's going to be under the influence of Frozen 2. Ordinarily, that means that he wouldn't be able to swap or throw any items, so instead we're going to rule it as he cannot use his claws to attack you guys for 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Which means the only
Yeah,
thing you'll
that's
have to
still
deal with is possibly the tail, the teeth, and the fire breath.
Yeah.
Think he can use his teeth.
I mean, he's a dragon. Did you expect him to just grin at you?
You know what? Fair enough.
Now, here's the interesting part, though. He's getting another turn.
Huh?
I wasn't on the initiative order.
No, it's not. It's one of his stunts. It's aggression. Other characters have stunts too, you know.
Yeah.
He has an ability
Yeah.
called aggression, which means if he hits so much damage, he gets a free attack against someone or something. And he's going straight...
Oh no! Wait a minute.
Yep, he's going for Ignis.
Well, wait.
Oh, no.
He has a harder time hitting Ignis because that one stealthy stunt.
It's still an aggression attack, and he can't exactly attack anyone else.
Yeah.
He can't fucking do anything. He can only try to chomp at Ignis. So, Ignis, give me a stealth roll. Yeah,
I
you...
got a 4.
Yeah, including the minuses. Yeah, you dodged this with relative ease. Like, you saw it coming a mile away.
With relative ease.
Alright, so, now that that's out of the way, it's Barry's turn.
Barry. Well, I've gotta do it. I'm gonna walk one step forward into the zone, and Nanashi, be real with me. Can I attempt to use my stunt on the dragon, or is it too big?
You mean your stunt that allows you to yell at it, or...
No,
the bind.
No, beetle bind.
Oh, you haven't used that in a while.
We haven't had a combat in a while.
Fair.
Yeah, I was about to say.
To be
we
fair,
only-
you also
we only
didn't
had
use it in
one
the prior
form of
combat. You also didn't use it in the prior combat.
Prior combat.
Because
We had
no
one
one
other-
got into melee range.
Fair,
We-
fair. You got me there.
Me and Joseph each shot Lucky once, and everyone else shat themselves and ran away.
You know what?
I had that one. Yeah.
I will allow you to make the attempt. I'm gonna have to make it a harder attempt, but you have physique on this, so give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
Alrighty, here we go. Come on, this would be really cool. Come on, bot, just give this one to me. Give this one to me. It'd be really cool.
It's an average.
Hang on.
I'm about to say, yeah, it applies on a hit or a match.
Yes, but here's the thing. Don't forget, you also have an extra fate point.
Yeah, me and you had the permanent one rewarded to us.
You guys,
Yeah, I thought I already spent that extra one.
Not yet. You get a new one every day, remember?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. In that case.
Would you like to, given that you are the best wrestler, we can
best?
we can agree that you can make a better attempt than that. Would you like to add +2 or do a reroll?
Bro is Yuya Sakaki, except an actual good character.
Uh-huh.
Wait, let me contemplate. If I do a +2, they'll put me at a +3. You know what? I'm gonna be ballsy with it. I'm gonna take the reroll.
All right.
Surely I can roll better than 3 minuses and a plus.
Let's see it.
Please.
Oh,
That's
there
better!
we go. There
Oh.
we go.
It's better.
You know what? You actually met the threshold I was looking for. I'm going to give it to you. You jump up and use your mandibles to grab him by the neck and bash his head into the ground.
Editor, play Rules of Nature when this occurs.
Play rules.
That's a good one. All right, so you have officially held him in place, meaning that he now has disadvantage on the next attack roll against him or you.
I'm holding him down. Someone get him.
Which means that now it's Arlich's turn.
The problem is he can't get into the zone because it's full.
Hey, that's fine. He doesn't need to.
Oh.
You see him actually weave his hands around in a manner similar to Chimo. He's casting a spell.
Well, I guess it does make sense. He is the domain master.
You hear him utter the phrase, Nanabozo. And in the zone beside the dragon, you see a massive violet energy rabbit. Like I am
Oh,
talking,
he's doing a summon.
not just a summon, an idle summon.
An idol summon?
That's the highest level magic we can get to.
Yup.
Well, besides the cataclysms, I guess.
Yeah. And you see this energy rabbit just bellow in absolute delight at seeing this dragon. But here's the cool part. He does not just, run up and bash the shit out of him. You see this creature also cast its own spell. It bellows out a level 3 magical spell of its own. You see it suddenly cast Miracle, which means all the characters in that zone are going to be either gaining 4 health or taking 3 damage if it hits Azar. Now let me give a quick roll for Azar. Yeah.
Wait, can you choose who gets the buff and who gets the damage?
You have the option when you cast a level 3 spell to either hit all allies, all enemies, or both.
Oh.
And that does in fact hit. So, Barry and Ignis, you both gain 4 hit points if you are down anything, and Azar just took another 3 damage.
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
No, it is not.
Fantastic.
Which unfortunately does mean that the bind has worn off.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
I mean, it just
doesn't
means that Azar won't have, an advantage to hit me.
Yep. All right. Top of the roster, Joseph. It's your turn.
You know what? We're gonna try and damage the dragon again. I think the dragon's nearly dead already, so if he has the same pool as Barry, which is
That puts him at about
25,
half. If he does have the same hit point pool as me.
yeah. So we're gonna spend another MP to infuse another water bullet. Take advantage of this.
All right.
Okay, roll. And my shoot is +3.
Okay. That's good. And let's see. Will he dodge this? No, he will not. That's another 3 damage, and you get to either pull him to another zone, or you can make him run into somebody who's in the same zone.
Pulled into somebody else. What does that mean?
It just means he takes an extra point of damage. What we'll say then is that Azar gets pulled by the water and basically has his jaw bounce off the top of Barry's skull and take another point of damage.
The teamwork.
There you go. Alright, so next up would be Azar's turn again. Now he can't use his claws, so his only option at this point is to either use his teeth or another fire breath.
And his tail?
And his tail. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do a tail swipe against both characters in the same zone. Give me an athletics or stealth roll to dodge this.
I got an average.
Ooh. Oh, so
I also got an average.
well, he rolled a +3, which means both of you are going to be hit for 2 damage and pushed 1 zone away.
Master.
Alright, so that's all he can do, which means it's Chimo's turn again. Actually, no, wait, it's Ignis'
Wait.
turn.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, my mistake. Alright, so what do you want to do, buddy?
Well, I'm going back to C3.
Alrighty.
So we're gonna infuse again.
Alright, let's see it.
Oh.
Yeah, here's the thing. You matched.
Sad.
It's fine. Hey, you hit him pretty hard the first time.
True.
Alright, so now it's
well.
Chimo's turn.
Yeah.
Alright, well, she's gonna launch a level 3 pink spell this time and see if it changes the results. Fire plus 3. Okay, that's not bad. And that is a hit.
Yay.
So he got influenced with a round of pink magic this time.
Pretty sure that's just gonna guarantee a fire breath.
Pretty much. And let's see. On top of that, he still can't use his claws, but you also met the threshold a second time, which means now he gets another free attack.
Oh.
Because that was a total of 20 damage.
Wait, 20 exactly, or at least 20?
It has to be, it's every increment of 10 or more, and this time he's down 20 hit points. This time, Azar is going to launch a fire breath at Chimo and... Actually, I've got a choice here. He'll launch it at Chimo and Joseph.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, his fire breath is actually a controllable line. But he only gets 3 zones instead of 4, because it's not magic.
Oh, okay, so he can do like either D3 or D2, and it'll still hit both, and it'll still hit 2.
So Joseph, please give me a roll.
Chimo's like getting hit 100%, so it's either gonna be either Joseph or Arledge.
Oh,
Oh.
an average +1.
Alright, well, he rolled a +3. So you're both getting hit with a 2 damage fire breath plus 1 instance of afterburn.
Okay, so I'm gonna be at 7 health.
Alright, so that's it for his turn. His extra turn, rather. Which means that it's now Barry's turn.
Alrighty, I'm gonna try and put this dragon to bed.
Let's see it.
So I'm gonna walk in, and for the first time ever, I'm going to pull out my freaking melee weapons.
Alright, and those are 3 damage each?
Those are 3 damage each, yep. And I can dual wield them because I'm buff as shit.
Yes, you can. And you can infuse them, too.
I will, in fact, be doing so with the water. So we'll do that one at a time. I have a, we got the freaking, what was it? It was a battle axe and a warhammer. I'm gonna hit him with the warhammer first, because I'm not trying to cut him. We're not trying to slash his neck.
Obviously.
Anyways, warhammer coming in first. Kaboom!
Not bad, not bad.
So that's 3 damage plus the 1 damage from the what I did a water infusion.
Which means you can pull him in and do an extra point of damage if it hits.
Yes.
Yeah, he rolled a 2, so you hit.
Yeah.
Yay.
Alright, so that's 3 damage for the weapon, plus 1 for the infusion, and pulling him a zone into you, meaning you do a free point of damage on top of that. You met the threshold. You won the engagement.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You won.
Oh.
Call me the Sandman, brother. I'll put him to sleep.
Nice. Alright, and that's the end of the combat. Congratulations, guys.
Yay.
You did really well. I expected that to go another round. So, after that last bash that Barry was thankfully able to do, Azar bellows out and flops over against the grass with a dull thud. He's still breathing, but you have successfully tuckered him out.
Ignis, do you get that big eventually? Because I ain't wrestling you to the ground.
I'm actually wondering the same thing myself.
Well, I'm hoping he doesn't get that big. It's already narrow in that house with Barry moving around.
So, Arledge dusts himself off because, he did get a little scorched up. And he walks over to Azar and places a hand on his side, which causes Azar to growl at him, but he's too physically tired to attack anymore. And Arledge decides to give him a once-over. Now, what's got your scales in a snarl? Would you like to give an investigate roll to see if you can find a problem?
Yes.
Wait, all of us?
Ignis, this
Or
is your
Whoever
moment.
wants to. Whoever wants to.
oh well, I'm doing it. I think I got a +2 in investigate.
Yeah. And you're draconian. That should help, maybe, possibly.
See, he's a full dragon. Ignis is maybe quarter dragon, based on the way I'm understanding it.
Oh, okay.
I got an average.
Jesus.
Oh, of course. Is Chimo gonna get a +6?
Well, Chimo doesn't have any points in investigate. So the
Oh
highest you
my
can get is
God.
+4. We are nothing if not consistent.
All of you got the same roll. How is that possible?
What about Barry? Did
Got-
Barry want to join in?
Got-
He did.
I
Oh.
rolled first and got a
Oh.
+1.
That is so weird. All right, you know what? I'm going to give Arlich a roll. Oh. He rolled a 0.
He-
I was like, I could use my fate point for like a sort of medical examination because I do have that field, but I don't know.
You know what?
But I don't know if that helped you.
You know what? Here's what we're going to do. In this particular instance, I'm going to give it to whoever actually does have the investigate bonus, which is going to be Joseph.
Wait, I also have the investigate bonus. What do you mean?
How much is your investigate plus?
+2.
You have a +2 as well?
Same.
Oh, you both have the same +2.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Roll off.
Yeah.
Roll off. Let's go.
God.
Okay, so just
Whichever one rolls
so just
higher.
a standard roll or
Flat roll.
okay. So
Wait,
I
wait. I was saying no modifier.
No modifier, just a straight roll. You have the same skill, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. There we go.
Oh well.
There we
Well,
go.
Womp womp.
Sorry, Ignis,
Yeah.
but this is my showcase. Dr. House is in the house.
Dude,
Well, I tried.
you don't crack enough jokes to be Dr. House.
Listen, he's getting used to it again. Barry may have been an influence.
Hell yeah, brother.
Now, that's what we call character development.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Joseph is gonna walk over to the dragon to examine what is wrong. Well, damn, his left leg is a bit roughed up. He's got a large gash here, and there's a large majority of his scales are missing. And this was before we had to rough him up to get him to calm down.
Arlich takes a look at what you're pointing out. Well, I'll be. Something done attacked him, cut clean through his scales. It probably spooked the little guy and got him all flustered.
But what around here could have done that much damage?
Got me. Dragon scales are supposed to be dense and powerful, but whatever did this ain't natural. You're a medic. I'm a little worn out after all that. You wanna give this a shot? See if you can heal it up.
Well, I haven't been able to use my more doctor-based hands in a while, and I've never done it on a dragon before. But I suppose I can give it a shot.
All right. Spend the 1 mana point to cast a basic healing spell and see if you can get that leg healed up.
All right. I now have 7 mana points to my 7 health. And do I do a roll for this?
No, it's an automatic heal since he's now an ally.
Okay.
Okay.
So, when you try to heal the cut, it starts dripping bits of a golden powder from the wound. And that dust consumes the violet magic that you just cast on top of it and falls to the grass in a tiny pile of powder. The wound was not healed.
Well, whatever struck him, it's making it so that the healing magic isn't working.
And Arlich looks visibly disturbed and takes a shaky step backwards. That ain't right. Whatever did this ain't normal. I mean, it ain't a deep cut, but healing magic don't work on it. Y'all ever seen anything like this?
Joseph will pick up and examine the powder. No, but I think we have a suspect.
Here, can Barry take a look at the powder due to his kind of more detailed knowledge on gold magic, which does have the ability to counterspell stuff?
You know what? That is a reasonable assumption to make. I will allow you to do that.
It's like, hold on, let me get a look at this. Let me get a look at this powder. It's gold. It's, well, logically speaking here, gold magic is anti-magic. It cancels stuff out. So
Well, yeah, but that's a spell. This is an actual material.
It was imbued, no doubt, and whatever was hunting your dragon here had the sole intention of letting it bleed out to death, or coming back for the clean kill later, and hoping that you, of all people, wouldn't be able to do anything about the injury.
Oh, that's a horrid thought. Hang on a sec, I want to try something. He musters up a little bit more magical energy and tries healing one of the other marks on his body, and that one actually manages to heal.
So it's that cut specifically.
Yeah, whatever did this, that's... Oh, this is gonna give me a hell of a headache.
Is there a gold domain here?
Not that I'm aware of. Hell, I hope not.
I see. I was hoping there was, so that we can pay a visit there just to see if we could get some ideas.
I've seen a lot of fucked up actions from fucked up people before, but this is worming its way to the top 5 list for sure.
He walks over and grabs one of the 2 bags of food and drops them by Azar's head, which Azar slowly reaches up and just grabs one of the bags and starts chewing on it like it's a giant piece of food. Well, his appetite's still here, so whatever it is ain't too bad.
it's going to take time. Heal it the old-fashioned way.
I think the best thing we can do is just let him heal, because otherwise it looks like a normal wound.
I mean, do you think between the lot of us here, we'd have more healing magic than he's got powder in that wound?
I don't want to chance it. By the looks of it, the more you heal it, the more it makes.
Oh, that's a problem.
I would rather we not grow the
yesterday,
abundance
I'm sorry
of this gold powder, lest it become a tumor in of itself.
Do we have like Okay, hold on. I'll tell you what. Barry, he's got some bottles of water in his backpack. He's gonna take one out. Be like, anyone want a drink? Nope. Okay, he's gonna chug it, and I'm gonna stick some of this powder in this bottle to store it for go and get this investigated.
So you physically touch the powder?
Yeah.
The powder burns your skin.
Damn! Don't touch that.
Now, Joseph didn't have that problem because he wears gloves. You don't.
Yeah, you know what? That'll do it. Hey, Joseph, spill me a little bit of that powder in this bottle here. Might oughta be able to, get someone smarter than us to investigate it. I got some ideas.
I have ideas too of who to see, but at the same time, I am a bit worried. Whatever made a cut like this is most definitely still roaming around.
Yeah, my next course of action was I wanted to go take a peek at Azar's cave, which I suppose would be intruding, but if something hit him while he was in the cave, it might left some tracks, so that's also something to investigate.
Inside the cave is relatively basic. There's nothing special about it. It's just giant rock walls. It's a little dark, but you can see pretty well inside of it without too much difficulty. It's just rocks, dirt, a little straw nest. Doesn't appear to be anything out of the ordinary. Or anyone, for that matter.
No strange tracks, no like new openings where something might have tunneled in.
Not as far as you can see.
Huh. Well, shit.
Though I will also say this powder is giving me very horrid memories. The stuff was listed as a war crime to use on the battlefield.
Wasn't that a white powder?
There's been a lot of powders, but
Fair enough. I was thinking of white phosphorus.
of course it wasn't a powder at the time. It was a gold gel that they'd put on their blades. Those couldn't be healed by the medics.
Oh, I know what you're referring to now.
I don't. What reference is this?
You want to enlighten him?
God, I don't think I'm trying to remember the quote-unquote reference, but I feel like anti-magic coating on the blades would definitely be a wartime strat that would just get outright banned.
You know what? Yeah, that
Yeah.
probably is in the Geneva Convention.
Probably.
Right alongside Don't Bomb the Medic Tent.
Alright, so, Arledge will, rub his arms a little. Well, I'll keep an eye on him and come back later and make sure he's okay. Meantime, we've been out here for quite a while. Let me give y'all a lift back to the market. I also got to return Montana's cart. We kind of stole it.
Yeah, well, it also got kind of didn't get a little damaged when Azar flung you into it.
Yeah, but I think it's okay. These carts are built pretty sturdy. And when you take a look, there is a crack down the side of it, but it is still in one piece.
Oh, that's good at least.
I feel like back to earlier. I think the closest reference I can think of was something I believe the French did, but that was like in World War I, I believe, where they would smear their bladed weapons with actual fecal matter.
Ew.
So you die of bacterial infections.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Oh,
that actually
that's
makes sense.
Rude.
Alright, well,
That's rude.
he offers to give you guys a lift back into the farmer's market to return the cart. And the entire time you guys are heading home or heading back, he keeps looking back at Azar to make sure that he's not doing anything or nothing else happens. Now, once you guys all arrive, obviously everybody at the market is asking him what happened and if everyone's okay and what in the world that noise was. And he's like, it's alright, everything's fine. Fran got hurt, he's okay now, I think. And everyone calms down pretty quickly. He apparently decently knows how to control a crowd. And he finally returns to his old smiling self, and he pulls off his hat and takes out all 3 bags of coin and hands it to your group. Y'all can have this. Consider it your pay for a hard day's work.
I mean, the pay is nice, though. Wouldn't it be wise to have someone to check up on the dragon from time to time?
Oh, that'll be me. I'll be checking on him probably every few hours just to make sure he's okay.
Fair enough.
That's some nasty business. Who'd wanna piss off a dragon?
Hell if I know.
There are a lot of brave people out in the world, and I would assume this island is no different.
By the way, each bag has about 50 Z in it, so you just gained another 150 Z.
Sweet. That's not divisible by 4.
Nope, but then again, you are also the only one without money, so it would make sense if you ended up taking it.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna take all of it. We all worked equally.
It's your call.
Maybe,
I mean, we could just-
maybe except for Ignis, he kind of got distracted during the sheep shearing phase.
I mean, we could just have a sort of home pull thing where we just pull a bunch of money for later.
Yeah, we'll just say whoever. That would make sense. Like a big communal just pool of money.
Well, alright then. So, from here, Montana approaches your group and smirks and says, "Ooh, it sounds like you guys had a really interesting day, didn't you?"
Definitely a little more than we initially bargained for, but nothing we couldn't handle.
Glad to hear it, buddy. Well, I'd say we probably ought to get you guys going home. I'm heading back myself, so y'all can hitch a ride with me.
Oh, much appreciated.
Of course. And he hops back in the driver's seat. He doesn't even seem to care about the fact that there's a giant crack up the side of his cart.
It's like, well, you're not worried about your cart at all.
Nah, my boys and I can repair this in an afternoon.
Fair enough.
Okay, how much time do we have left till for the session?
We just finished the afternoon phase because you guys are probably going to head back to Diadem and do something from there, but did you have to go?
Yeah, honestly.
Alright, well, we did just finish the afternoon session, so if you want, we can call it here, and we can pick it up again on the next session. We still got the evening phase of the day.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, so that sounds like a good idea to me.
I kind of wanted to go investigate this idea Barry has on maybe figuring out more about this gold powder, but we can save that for next session.
Well, I'll give you guys a choice then. I don't want there to be 2 missing players in this session because, I can only pilot one at a time. But what we could do is if Ignister, if you want to go ahead and take off, you can, and then we can just let Barry do his investigation thing, and we can say that you came with him and just observed to see what's going on. Or we can just save it for the next session. I'll let you guys decide.
We can just save it for the next session. It's not a big deal. I can be patient.
Alright, then we'll consider the next session the start of the evening phase
Yeah,
of
same
Day 2.
here.
Okay.
Alright, well, this has been a surprising amount of fun. I'm glad you guys did as well against this dragon as you did. And we will pick this up on the next session in a few weeks.
All right.
In the meantime, thanks again for coming, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So this is a special after-the-fact session where Barry, as a character, is insanely curious about what the hell is going on with Caelum, and Joseph is more than willing to go in and actually ask the questions that Barry feels too awkward to ask. So what's going to happen here is that Chimo and Ignis are going to go home to check on the animal, and Joseph and Barry are going to go talk to Caelum real quick for a few minutes to see if they can get some answers about what's going on with Caelum.
We need to know why he is every damn where.
Why he is everywhere at once.
Yep. Alright, so you guys head back to the pet shop, and it looks about the same, but you do notice that some of the little animals on display have changed, which means that somebody's came by and adopted someone.
I find it interesting that there's a market for adoptable pets in this. Barry's just making idle conversation with with Joseph as we walk up.
It is a wonder. Even an island so far off the map away from the outside world has managed to do a lot of domestication to this degree, alongside everything else, of course.
When you walk inside, you see Caelum just kind of lounging around behind the register, not having much to do, but when he sees you guys, he's actually a little surprised. Oh, I didn't expect to see you guys again so soon. How can I help you? Is everything okay with the coop?
Oh yeah, that coop is fantastic. Our little rooster boy Sonny loves it to death.
I'm glad to hear it. Wait, what'd you say his name was?
Sonny?
Oh. Okay then. So what can I do for you?
Yes,
Barry elbows Joseph.
Yes, there is a matter to discuss. From what I gathered when we saw you last time, it was most definitely uncomfortable. But I feel like I gotta be the one to ask if it is what I think it is. Caelum, the mathing is not, as this generation would say, mathing. You say that you're at different places because it's an easy trail, like 5 or an hour away, and yet it does not add up. You are everywhere at once simultaneously.
His eyes start to go a little wide.
Joseph will put a hand on Caelum's shoulder. I know, it's unnerving. Hell, I mean, just look at me. Joseph will once again take off his mask and then proceed to roll up the sleeves of his arms, showing huge gashes. I'm not exactly a normal guy myself. I'm a walking anomaly, out of time. Ageless, and my body's practically only holding me together at this point.
You see, Caelum just looks over your body and looks up to you, back and forth a couple of times, and he just sighs a little. Okay, promise not to get mad. He looks off to his side and says, "You can come out now." And from behind Caelum, you see a familiar black tarantula man in a brown overcoat and hat. Well, hello again.
Hello, Lind.
A pleasure to see you again, my friend.
I wish I could say the same.
Caelum just looks up to Barry. Lynn's how I've been getting around so quickly. He can travel through shadows and carry people with him, so he gets me from A to B quickly.
So it wasn't what I feared. No time magic, funky shenanigans like what I've been dealing with.
It's a lot simpler than what I was envisioning.
Lynn just grins and does a bow. It's one of my special services I offer to certain clientele. But I kept my distance from your group specifically after our rough introduction. Otherwise, I would have offered it myself.
I mean, that's what happens when you creep up behind people, start grabbing places. That was... what was a smart idea.
It's not my fault you have the largest shadow of any person I've seen in years.
He's got you there, Barry, but also, the introduction could have gone better.
I'll endeavor to improve should it happen again.
When
I
Joseph
appreciate that greatly.
Joseph will put back on his mask and roll back up his sleeves. So that's how he's everywhere at once. Linda's just been fast traveling him all across the landscape.
And Caelum just looks back to Joseph. He's not exactly cheap, but for the speed he gets from A to B, it's worth the price in my opinion.
Still,
fair enough.
you did have us worried there. I thought there was another like me.
What, an ageless person?
Ageless, affected by chronomancy, as that librarian talked about. Honestly, this ancient magic mess is just still hard to wrap around, even after 80 or 90 years.
I can imagine so.
I swear the number goes up every time you talk about it.
You live for so long, you don't even keep track of the exact number anymore at this point, so I do kind of have to play guessing games.
So is there anything else you wanted to ask him about as long as you're here, or was that it?
I think we only came here to ask why he was
Yeah.
everywhere at once, thinking it was chronomancy.
Yeah, I mean, could also ask him about the gold powder since he was, interning at the orange domain in the laboratory, but now isn't necessarily the place. I mean, unless Lynn just wants to take us all there real quick.
I mean, do you want to ask him to do that? Because that would mean you'd be getting up close and personal with the guy.
There is another thing we can talk about, seeing as you've no doubt been everywhere at this point. Joseph will reach for the bottle from Barry with the gold powder. We got this stuff from the violet domain. Someone or something slashed the domain master's dragon friend with it, ensuring that it couldn't be healed properly with magic. I've seen something similar before in my time in the trenches. That's been outlawed since, but this has been refined into a powder rather than a gel.
Yeah, it seemed like no matter how much magic we tried to funnel into it, it just kept multiplying, making more of itself.
Heck, I'd argue it's more deadly than the gel, because at least the gel you could wash out, but powder, that just ends up getting everywhere.
Caelum takes a look at the powder that you guys have in your bottle. Hang on, I think I recognize this. He reaches underneath the counter and pulls out a small wooden box-like table, which he turns around, and you see drawers in it. It's a tiny little desk, a portable desk.
Like a portable alchemy station.
Exactly.
It's kinda neat.
It is a portable alchemy station. Good eye. He opens up one of the little drawers and pulls out a vial, which appears to have a large amount of the exact same powder. I have seen this before. I'm not entirely certain what to call it, but I have been seeing this around town. I was examining it earlier. I was trying to see if I could make it into some kind of potion.
Let me tell you something. This stuff burns like all heck if you try to grab it unprotected.
I know. It's one of the reasons I carry gloves with me everywhere I go nowadays. But whatever this stuff is, it doesn't seem to be natural, and I can't seem to replicate the results of what this stuff is with any material that I can find. I only know that this stuff is anti-magic in raw form.
So it's unnaturally made, and it's no doubt being weaponized as we speak. Though to attack the dragon, though, who would be that reckless and bold, or what rather, if there is
Well-
no who?
Someone attacked Azar?
Yeah.
His
It
scales.
scared the poor bugger. Scared the poor dude
We had the
so bad. He was so mad. We had to fight him a bit ourselves just to tire him out.
Oh, it's a poor thing.
He had a gash on his rear left leg, and a lot of the scales along that area were missing too, which even surprised the domain master because dragon scales are thick and dense.
Well, my immediate guess would be they tried to harvest the scales, but to do this to him, that just seems excessive.
Poachers.
Maybe.
I mean, for
Well-
the whole powder, that just seemed malicious. Like they wanted him to be in pain.
Yeah, and with malicious in mind, it makes me think marauders, but this is a bit extreme even for them.
So we got an unknown factor that is no doubt responsible for the spread of this and the assault on the dragon. Though, using this type of powder on the dragon in the violet domain would be tactical, as brutal as it is. You can't exactly save someone with healing magic if anti-magic blocks your path.
That is true. You know, the weird part is, I collected all this stuff from people over in the hospital. I was walking around and I just happened to see a bunch of it on the ground, so that's where I got it from. But to find it from the Violet Domain where people are supposed to be getting healing and nourishment, that just seems counterintuitive. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go talk to Arledge and see if I can take a look. We're old friends. I'm pretty sure he'd be willing to let me see him.
Well, overall, after what happened, it's nice to have another pair of eyes and ears with us.
He pulls out his own little business card that has a phone number listed on it. If you guys find anything before I do, give me a call. If I find out anything, I'll use Lynn's shadow travel to reach you faster.
Alright. Feel free to grab me if you want to run any experiments on this stuff, by the way. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I am somewhat versed in anti-magic myself.
You know how to cast anti-magic spells?
I do. Only lower scale stuff, like a cough level 1 magic cough. I guess, not how Barry would phrase it, but I can cast some of the lower scale stuff, but I can't. I'm working on it.
Well, I'd be careful with that if I were you. Anti-magic is kind of nasty.
Oh, I'd never use them maliciously. It was something I picked up back in my wrestling days, because, the boys would often, want to use some grand magic stuff in their big finishers, but, if it gets too big and it runs the risk of hurting each other, we learn how to cancel it out very quickly.
Well, see to it that you keep a close eye on that, then.
It's very telling how anti-magic is used more responsibly in your field than in the actual battlefield area.
Well, wrestling's a performance. We're making it look like we want to hurt each other, but we don't actually want to hurt each other. I've had beers with the fellas a lot. We hang out at each other's houses and talk about, the plot line and the story of, who's going up in wrestling, who's coming down in wrestling, who's going on a downfall, who's doing their heel turn, who's becoming a face. All sorts of stuff. But yeah, we never wanted to hurt each other. It was a performance.
I just remembered something. Joseph, right?
Yes?
We never really had a conversation about it, but based on the idea that you have chronomancy running through you, I'm assuming you've been around for a while. You're an old wartime soldier, right?
Correct.
Any chance you have some field medical training in that?
Yeah, I do. Which is why seeing this gold powder is rubbing me the wrong way. It was a pain in the ass to help my comrades when they got slashed with anti-magic coated blades.
It might be a bit of a stretch, but like I said, I picked this stuff up at the hospital. There's probably other cases down there if you want to go down and take a look. Since you actually have medical experience, they might be willing to give you a closer look and see if you can contribute anything useful.
I mean, considering that I've saved as many lives as I've taken in the war, I can definitely say without a shadow of a doubt that I have plenty of experience to my name.
Well, given that it's a hospital, I don't think you should lead with that in conversation, but that's a fair point. Well, as long as you're here, is there anything else I can help you with? Did you need a stock up on feed or anything?
We got plenty of feed. It was just mostly asking about that stuff.
Yeah. Hope you forgive the intrusion. It was just burning curiosity.
No, I understand. And I appreciate you being upfront about it instead of doing something like spying at me through the windows like some creep.
I feel like that's the last thing we need on our records.
Barry thinks to himself in the back of his head, man, I'm really glad I didn't send Ignis to spy on Caelum. He doesn't say it, but he was certainly thinking it.
And it's honestly ironic that I double as a sniper and didn't want to take the sneak approach.
Well, to be honest, if I had found you, I probably would have been a little upset.
And honestly, the thing that did ultimately keep me from the sneaking approach was, well, I wanted to make sure if I was the only one or not. The only one with, well, this magic mess.
Yes, trust me, magic mess is a good term for everything that's been going on lately.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, I think I'm gonna be closing up shop a little early. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat, and there's a funeral happening this evening that I was planning on attending, so
A
Oh,
funeral?
yeah, we heard that
we've heard-
mentioned. It's Violet Domain.
Did they specify who passed away?
They said a name, but it wasn't one I was familiar with. Barry says the name that I, Atlas Core, have forgotten.
I typed the name out for you in Fate Chat.
This is Mr. Tarb, something like that.
Tarb? That's the one I'm going to.
Yeah, we heard mention of it, condolences. Barry takes off the sunglasses,
Yeah, I should hope so. Everyone knew Mr. Tarb.
Well, we may not have known him given our late arrival overall, but it wouldn't hurt to attend after I see what's up at the hospital.
Probably a smart idea. Everyone's going to be there at one point or another. It's going to be an all-day thing.
Oh, must have been very
And plus,
important
if it's that important, it will help us get more accustomed with the island and just who or what the important figures are.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and close up now and head down there. I may see you guys later.
We just might.
If you don't, then well,
Then I'll see you next time you guys need supplies or run into each other again.
essentially, you know the gist by now.
I most certainly do. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, Caelum. Take it on easy now.
We will leave the store.
Alright, so we'll say you guys leave the pet store and head back to the house to catch up with them?
Yep.
Yeah. On the way, can Barry find a newspaper or something?
Sure.
Is there anything in the newspaper about a Mr. Tarb passing away?
There is, in the obituary section.
I want to gather some information. I don't want to go into this funeral completely blind here. Let's see here. Is there any information at all, or is it just the name?
Actually, yes, there is a couple of pieces of important information. Mr. Wharton Tarb, he leaves his son and his wife behind. His son, his name is Peyton, but the name on the wife is smudged. I'll be honest, I didn't write one. And he is the owner of the local bookstore. To be honest, you guys had an opportunity to meet him before going to the Orange Domain, and you kind of missed it.
Oh.
So we can only do so much.
I know,
Yeah.
and there's one other important piece of information. It lists him as the former king of Diadem.
Barry does a double take. It's he's going through it casually. It's oh, okay, here we got one Mr. Tarb who leaves behind his wife. Damn, it must have been raining. The name's smudged out, but he leaves behind his son Peyton, owner of a local bookstore. Huh, seems like a nice fella. It says here, former king of Diadem.
There's a little more to it than that. It also specifies, and ordinarily I would have made you roll for this, but given that, you missed an opportunity, I feel like you kind of deserve to know this. It says in that paper that he faithfully served this city as the ruler for 57 years. And he passed away at the age of 121.
That's an old soul right there. 121.
It seems like with a lot of the advancements here, the life expectancy is so much better.
That's quite impressive. That's older than you, maybe.
Definitely older than me, especially if the math is calculating. But even without chronomancy going through my veins, I'm certain that the healthcare and overall every other factor with this place would have ensured I lived longer than
It
what
just
is
now occurred to
expected
me,
of
this would have made Mr. Tarb here Akarui's predecessor.
Correct.
Of course, Akarui also specified that king was more so just an old holdover title. It's more akin to a governor, but still. Okay, so Mr. Tarb was the faithful king of Diadem for 57 years, you said?
Yes, I did.
So let me get this straight here. This Mr. Tarb was the king of Diadem in Akarui's place for 57 years, at which point he presumably stepped down or was deposed of or somehow made it out of office. Akarui took the job as king, and then Mr. Tarb just settled down and ran a bookstore for the rest of his days.
I mean,
I feel like we gotta go to this funeral, Joseph.
You're not telling me twice.
Barry just kind of folds the newspaper back up, puts it under his arm, and just thinks, just wow. This is an important ass dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we figured as much, and just like Joseph pointed out, this will give us a clear idea of of not only just more history on the island, but like who or what is overall important here. And Mr. Torb was definitely important.
Let's say so. Wow. I guess we're just gonna walk our way back to the house.
Walk your way back to the house, and I guess you're going to inform Chimo and Ignis when you get there, and I guess your evening phase will be spent going to the hospital and the funeral?
I'd say that's a good way to spend it.
All right. Then we'll cut it off here, and we'll start again on the next session.
Alrighty.
I am actually really glad we got that information out of the way. I have been burning to tell you about that for the entire time, but because you guys didn't stop off at the bookstore, I didn't get a chance to even introduce them.
Damn.
Could have this dude at the very beginning.
Could have. I mean, technically...
Does it... Oh, wait. Can I ask one more question before we go?
Sure.
Does the newspaper list a cause of death?
It actually does. I'm trying to remember the exact technical term for what the cause of death was. Fuck it. It says that he was actually murdered.
Oh, doesn't that add to the situation?
Yeah, it says here that he was murdered while he was working at the store.
I feel like Barry and Joseph would have some comments on that. But I don't think you're still recording, are you?
No, I am. I haven't stopped yet.
Oh.
That's some nasty business. Just an old fella murdered in his store.
Not just anyone, the old king of Diadem too, which is making me think several negative scenarios that could have taken place.
Well, he was already no longer in office, so I doubt it was a political play.
Political plays are always dicey, nasty, and, to my headache, overcomplicated for the sake of dramatics.
Ain't that the truth?
A nasty business. Hope we don't have to tackle that, but given how a large majority of people liked him, this was either this could have been done by a plethora of other factors too. If not political, then maybe just someone had a burning hatred for him, or even worst case scenario, it's the same people that went after the dragon, if it wasn't poachers.
Yeah, that is some nasty work.
It feels like every step we take here, something bad just begins to gradually happen, as if the marauders weren't enough.
I just feel like that. I don't know. My innate desire is to want to help these people, but that's just in my nature. But I don't know, this might be a bit above and beyond us and what we can do.
Well,
then again, Chimo is part of the Thunder Force now, so...
Well, overall, I didn't exactly serve to say no to helping innocent people, now did I?
Touché.
As gloom and doom as a lot of my memories are, I was still overall reminded why I went through it all. And if the King of Diadem did get murdered in some grand conspiracy, it will be I gotta go back into the trenches to uncover it.
It's kind of exciting, isn't it? Like those old noir. I hate to say this about someone's passing, respect for the dead and all, but it's kind of exciting in a way. It's almost like an old noir film.
Well, I'm glad there's something fun to come out of such a morbid event. Lord knows
I'm always trying to look for the bright side of everything.
Well, at least we're still good at contrasting each other and rubbing off of each other to some degree.
Maybe I'll learn to take life just a little more seriously from you. Who knows?
Yeah, we should probably bring the news to Chimo and Ignis. They probably want to hear this.
Sorry about that. My baby sister thought it'd be a good idea to bring me a Go-Gurt.
Oh, that's fine.
You got fucking baby room service?
Oh, that's adorable.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, the vast majority of the time she's stealing food out of my room. This is the exception.
I guess you decided to be nice and return the favor.
Yeah, she is 3 years old, the little hellion.
All right. I think now's a good time to end the recording. How about you guys?
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything we need to cover.
But,
Just an ending shot of us walking into the sunset back towards the house.
yeah, because the next session during the evening section will just be back at the house informing Chimo and Ignis on what happened in more detail.
Might go explore the hospital on Caelum's suggestion. That gives me some more ideas, but that's neither here nor there. And then we're gonna go to a funeral procession.
You know, there's also something I wanted to bring up, but I wanted to wait until after the session was already said and done. You got a good amount of quick cash out of helping these people in the Violet Domain, just doing basic farmhand work.
Oh yeah, that was 150Z.
Yeah, for helping 3 different people. You know, if you wanted to, I bet if you wanted to get some quick cash, if you would need it again, you could volunteer your time to do farm work and, you know, get some as an actual job.
The thought did cross my mind. That is kind of up Barry's alley.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this special session, especially the dragon fight. I knew you guys would get a kick out of the dragon fight.
You see, here's the thing. You know, like, Purple Domain Master, whose name I've already forgotten.
Arledge.
Correct. Arledge, yeah. Arledge made oh, hello, Mame. Ooh, apple. Arledge made mention of, you know, the other Draconian here, so I was like, okay, cool. Must be like another farmhand who just happens to be a Draconian. That's cool.
Nope.
There was not another Draconian in this domain.
He just summoned
That was
Red
a
Dra-
dragon, Nanashi.
He just summoned
That was
Red
a
Dragon.
whole ass fire-breathing dragon.
He just summoned Red Dragon Archfiend on top of us. Damn.
Yeah. The funny thing is, this exact same fight happened in the beta campaign, and the players were thrilled.
Yeah, how did they do?
They did. They took a little longer than you did, actually. But then again, there were only 3 of them, whereas there were 4 of you.
Did they
Well,
acknowledge
plus.
the type advantages?
They eventually learned them, but they were more concerned about chunking out damage than actually trying to learn affinities.
Damn. Joseph over here pointing out the outfit.
I mean, I got to wrestle a dragon to the ground. I don't need anything else than that. I
Okay.
did what I set out to do.
Nanashi, I know it may add more to your editing sake, but if you can, you gotta put in like the first vocal line of Rules of Nature when he does that.
I just might. I already have background music planned for that. In fact, I might go ahead and put that in the server when I get off here, because I got a bunch of songs to put in here now.
Fair.
Actually, I only have 2 now that I think about it. The one for the domain and the one for the fight with the dragon. So that's gonna be fun.
And that was awesome.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm glad
I
you.
actually got to use my melee weapons for the first time. That's the first time I've hit somebody with something not my fists.
That is true. And to be fair, you did
Christ damage on it.
You did damn good on it.
Man, you know what I just thought of? There's probably a world where Barry could 1v1 that dragon.
There probably is.
Because we have the same hit points, but I have all of the magic.
Hmm. Maybe at some point, if you level up, maybe someday down the road, you could actually fight him one-on-one just because.
Just a quick little sparring bout.
I might be willing to allow that at some point when you level up once or twice. Just...
Dude, imagine Barry starts moonlighting as a wrestler, and it's like our special guest from the Violet Domain, whole ass dragon.
Are you kidding me? You could sell that as a goddamn highlight match, and everyone in the city would want to see that.
Be
Dude, that'd
careful
be
though.
awesome.
Don't get too physically powerful, or certain you know who is going to instant transmission behind you. I heard you're really strong. Let's fight.
Hey, I'd invite Goku for a sparring match. Barry absolutely would. Do we think Barry watched Dragon Ball?
You know, it wouldn't
Barry
surprise
probably
me.
watched Dragon Ball.
It wouldn't
Barry
surprise me.
probably watched the original Dragon Ball. He probably fell off after Z, but he probably watched the original Dragon Ball.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I said I was gonna make it canon that he grew up watching things like Getter Robo and Mazinger Z growing up.
Nothing wrong with that. We can definitely make that canon if you want. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know
say-
how
I was about to say-
necessarily, But I like the idea.
I'll say, given how old Joseph was, and the brief moments of comfort, I'm sure he stumbled across some things too.
Mm-hmm.
That could be another bonding scene.
Can you imagine, like, Joseph and Barry sitting in front of the TV just watching watching, like, old 50s, 60s anime and drinking beer?
Dude, honestly,
That's a vibe and a half.
dude, we could put that to some good lo-fi music and just have that be like a minimally animated scene on top of like a 5-hour music loop.
Yeah, that's our lo-fi animation right there. That's our version of the lo-fi girl studying.
Mm-hmm. Lo-fi to watch anime by.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the recording and hop off the call. My wife's awake, and I'm gonna go spend time with her now.
Alright,
Reasonable.
I'll see you guys later.
She is insanely curious as to how the session went, and I'm gonna tell her every detail.
I wrestled a dragon to the ground. I shoved his face into the dirt. And you make sure to specify that.
I will.
Alrighty, bye-bye now.
See you guys next time.
Yeah.